Oculus has pulled back the curtain on the Oculus Rift S, a brand new PC VR headset that combines the convenience of built-in Oculus Insight tracking tech with the full power of your PC. Reading between the lines, the headset is essentially an upgraded version of the standard PC-powered Oculus Rift, and offers improved optics and display tech to deliver sharper pictures with higher pixel density. It should also be a more comfortable device, with co-designer Lenovo claiming the Rift S has better weight distribution and light blocking, along with a single cable system that makes for a clutter-free experience. Beyond that, the Rift S sports the same integrated audio system as the untethered Oculus Quest and entry-level Oculus Go, and includes a headphone jack, so users can hook up their favorite pair of cans. Much like the Quest, the Rift S also features Oculus Insight tracking technology, which removes the need for external sensors. The Rift S headset features 5 sensors to maximize tracking volume, in support of the existing Rift library. Oculus Touch controllers, redesigned for inside-out tracking, bring familiar hand presence and input so you can grab, point, and gesture through the best of VR, said Oculus, explaining how the tech works. We are also enabling a true stereo-correct PASSTHROUGH feature. PASSTHROUGH. It utilizes core Oculus runtime advancements, including AUN, to produce a comfortable experience with minimal depth disparity or performance impact. It's especially helpful anytime you need to step or see outside of your play space. The Oculus Rift S is due to launch this spring, and will retail for $399. You can find out more about the device and sign up for updates over on the Oculus website. Motoi Okamoto is the founder of the game developer Entersphere, which produced titles like Pikmin of Health for PlayStation Vita. Has also a Gamasutra blogger. But from 1999 to 2008, he participated in the development of some of Nintendo's best-loved and biggest-selling titles as a programmer and a script writer and game designer in Shigeru Miyamoto's Entertainment Analysis and Development AID department. During his decade at Nintendo, Okamoto had a hand in creating Pikmin, Super Mario 64 DS, Wii Play, and Wii Fit. With each new game, he was one of the first designers to explore the possibilities of mood input methods like the touch screen, motion controls, and balance board. In this exclusive interview with Gamasutra, Okamoto speaks about his experiences at it, some of the design lessons he learned there, and some fascinating behind-the-scenes tales of working with the minds behind Mario. Remarks have been edited for space and clarity. My experience at Nintendo was a golden time in my game design life, and I am grateful to my old boss, the Grandmaster Miyamoto, and to my many colleagues. In Japan, major companies including Nintendo prefer to hire new graduates over mid-career workers. Those companies do not need a work-ready candidate, but a graduate rich in potential. This is because they believe that they should give new employees proper training on their own. This is the unique employment environment and industry culture of Japan. And Nintendo, probably even now, is an old-fashioned Japanese company. Let me explain the background. Since Nintendo was battling Sony's PlayStation, the company tried to increase the number of excellent new graduates with knowledge of mathematics and physics, a trend that continues today. As long as those new graduates had a solid knowledge of mathematics and physics, they did not necessarily need to know programming. In my case, fortunately, I had both the knowledge and 3D programming experience. In my university days, I worked as an intern at a game company called United Nations Entertainment, which was founded by a Nintendo joint venture called Marigul, and in the programming candidates who were assigned to it, the development department that Shigeru Miyamoto managed had to get trained in 3D programming. Sometimes this training would consist of learning to display and animate a 3D model of Mario. Some of us then participated in a project that it was advancing cloud GSystem. EAD managers thought that they should build a common development environment, including middleware, engines, and tools for all lead game titles, which included Mario and Zelda, so that they could be sure of completing these very important titles on schedule. At that time, other middleware like Renderware began to become available, but most Japanese game companies chose to build in-house engines and tools on their own. Eventually there were about 15 people working on GSystem. When its development was almost complete, I started to spend some time researching new technologies, like shading. A designer who had seen the fun effects in Rare as Star Fox Adventures came in and said to me, in-house technology group, we want to do that too. So can not you do it? Fortunately, I not. After the GameCube, Nintendo did not think about putting out high-performance game machines like PlayStation 3 RX 360. Knowing that, I decided to switch jobs from graphic programmer to full-time game designer. The performance of Wii was roughly twice that of GameCube, so we could keep using GSystem up through The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. I do not know what Skyward Sword used. When the Nintendo DS came out, the GSystem development team switched over to creating development environments for both first and third parties. My first impression after entering Nintendo was that the company was, surprisingly, a big traditional Japanese company. There were many elderly employees who had been working there before they had ever launched their first video game console. All employees had to submit a daily report on paper every day. In 1999, when each of us had a PC on our desk, even the software development staff wore a company uniform like the ones the workers wore in the factory. Of course, I had known in advance that the company was old-fashioned, but when I actually experienced it, it was older-fashioned than I had imagined. But within that old-fashioned organization, the development studios pursued their own unique rationality, such as the development of GSystem. A few years after I joined, our president Hiroshi Yamauchi stepped down in favor of the young president Satoru Iwata. He would dramatically reform the old Nintendo, analyzing the problems of the company one by one. First, he moved a part of it into a different department that was called Speed. That was the team that created development environments, and which also worked together with overseas game studios. In this way, he created an environment such that Miyamoto could concentrate on only his studio's titles. Second, he promoted personnel changes and information exchanges between departments in the company. Believe it or not, members of the departments that developed Game Boy Advance games did not know the technical detailed specifications of GameCube, and vice versa. I am not kidding. Like the great warlord Oda Nobunaga, Yamauchi wanted his vassals to compete with each other. Nintendo once had 3 hardware development departments plus it. Each of these 3 departments had its own game development team, and Yamauchi made the leaders of these departments compete with each other. This resulted in successes like the Nintendo Entertainment System and Game Boy. But the departments never shared information with each other. It occupied a special position in the company. If one of our game consoles did not sell well, the divisions would criticize it, saying that the failure was because it could not create a home-run hit piece of software. My old boss Miyamoto has continued to bear the responsibility of home-run hitter, especially since the death of the Nintendo 64. Iwata reformed many parts of Nintendo, but tried to utilize and activate the good old parts as well. This was a good decision. One of the reasons is that he was originally an employee of another company, and had not worked at Nintendo before.